Having trained as a fashion designer, Simone Ng has always placed a high value on creativity. When she became a Buddhist, she was inspired to take a more creative approach to both her career and spiritual practice. In 2017, Simone founded Arts with Smile, a school in the southern district of Hong Kong Island. Working with a small team of teachers, the school teaches children Chinese painting, Chinese calligraphy, and arts and crafts. It is a place for children to experience joy through engaging with the arts. Simone was especially influenced by the Tibetan Lama Thrangu Rinpoche, who founded the Shree Mangal Dvip School for Himalayan children in Nepal, and her own guru, Shree Rinpoche, who is also a film director and photographer. One has infinite potential, she learned. He or she can be a Buddhist, a teacher, and a creator at the same time. Each year, advised by Thrangu Rinpoche's disciples, Simone organizes a fundraising event for the Shree Mangal Dvip School. This year, she arranged an art exhibition at the Hong Kong City Hall, bringing together artworks by students from Nepal, her own students in Hong Kong, and a Hong Kong artist. Simone believes that creativity and compassion are without boundaries, and as such, they can be shared by people from different religious and cultural backgrounds. I'm particularly impressed by the way that Simone combines her passion for the arts and her devotion to the Dharma in her work, and how the work itself has become a source of inspiration for Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike. I'm curious to learn more about her spiritual journey as a female practitioner. So today, Simone and I are meeting at the Thrangu Vajrayana Buddhist Center. Khenpo Dawa, who is in charge of the center, welcomes us and gives us a short introduction.
好，多謝你咧。1985年喺紅磡嗰度一個好細嘅一個中心喺紅磡嗰度嘅，所以跟住我哋去少大啲嘅中心咧，係我哋喺羅明道九龍線嗰邊羅明道，跟住先我哋喺觀塘呢個中心。咁多年嚟，我哋都有就是不停有唔同嘅法會啦，不停有我哋唔同嘅請仁波切嚟我哋呢度係總之喺觀頂啊、法會啊，或者係有啲法學班啊，都有好多都係而家都係不停係咁樣有我哋喺中心呢度嘅，所以咧我哋同埋唔單止係我哋係一個法會啊，或者係自己學習啊，或者係唔單止呢個，我哋都有好多唔同嘅activity 係我哋有時係老人院啊，或者係我哋喺街邊係有街邊嘅有啲係人需要咩嘢，我哋都會有少嘅有一個心意，可以咁樣有一個我哋去而家都係做緊嘅。咁香港咧係我覺得係一個好特別咧，係我哋有好多女嘅學生，好多女嘅呢個學佛嘅人咧係好堅持，好發心，好慈悲，好堅持去好多女嘅咁樣係每個日嘅我哋呢個六度母嘅呢個法會咧，係我見到咁樣咧，呢個係一個好特別嘅一個，所以咧係呢個我哋喺香港或者係我哋外國嘅地方咧係多女仔修行，呢個係真嘅，多女行修行，多女仔呢個叫做咩啊？我哋英文講話我practice well， That's why 跟住所以咧係我咁樣，我咁多年喺香港嚟講咧，係因為係我哋女仔嘅我哋嘅香港嘅係女嘅學生咧係特別多啲聰明。總之女仔係聰明，或者係女仔係一個好多過男仔，女仔有多過男仔係慈悲。呢個係真嘅，我自己有感受到嘅。呢個係我真嘅，我自己嘅睇到，我喺今日呢度可以咁樣一個介紹。
Simone, so you have been a Buddhist for 16 years. How did everything start? How did you find Buddhism in the very beginning?
When I was in my 20s, my father got sick, a very serious sickness. So once in an occasion, I just passed by an incense shop, and I got a book that describing Gunyam, how to help people from their sufferings when you have devotion and pray to her. And then after that, I just pray to Gunyam every day. And I also made a vow that I didn't eat beef, which is my favorite thing. And then I prayed to Gunyam that I hope my father to recover soon. And finally, my father recovered. So I got a faith. I just very believe in Gunyam. And this is the way I first encounter with the Gunyam. And after that, if I have the faith in Gunyam, the first sutra I read is the Platform Sutra of the ancestor chant. And the second one is the Diamond Sutra, where I found this is a rare treasure for me. And then I reprint it and deliver to the incense shops again.
Shop?
Many incense shops. Wow. Yes, and I hope that other people can see that and then they understand more about Buddhism. And then after that, I claimed myself as a Buddhist. But until I met a friend in Guangzhou, where I work in Guangzhou sometime, and he is a Buddhist, and he told me that you're still not a Buddhist. You are just outside the Buddhistdoor. And he told me if you take the refuge to free Jews, then you will widen your Dharma path and you will meet more teachers to guide you. So I believe him. And I start to refuge in the Gunyam in 2006, which he introduced me in Hong Kong.
Your connection with Buddhism started with Chinese Buddhism, Guanyin, and also reading sutras in Chinese. Yes. Then how did you find Vajrayana Buddhism, and how did you connect with the Thrangu Centre?
Well, this is very amazing that when the event of Kamaba 900 in Hong Kong, I was
that is for the
to celebrate
900
the 900 age of the Kamaba, the holiness.
The lineage.
Yeah, the lineage. So I was lucky to be one of the volunteers in this event, and I was very appreciate that the voluntary in charge, David Ma, he just guided me in the whole journey of the Vajrayana Buddhism. And through this event, I just work and have connections with Khenpo Dawa and Lama Tenjin. They are the first Vajrayana Khenpos and Lamas that guide my way, just to make me more understand about Buddhism. So after that, they introduced me to Thrangu Rinpoche and Shree Rinpoche, and then I also refuge to them. And I start my journey, and I go in the Thrangu Centre to listen to Thrangu Rinpoche teachings and other Khenpos and Lamas teachings. And that's why I have the chance to and guided by the Khenpos and Lamas to go into Vajrayana Buddhism.
I think for a lot of people, Vajrayana Buddhism and esoteric Buddhism sound very mysterious. In your experience, what are the differences between just studying on your own, reading sutras, taking refuge to a Vajrayana lineage?
Huge difference, because when I'm reading the sutras, I just believe and I just have faith because of reading the facts that I believe, but I cannot go forward. But when I was working as volunteers with the Khenpos and Lamas, I just can ask them questions, and I also can follow their steps. That's what they do in their daily life. In the center, how they help people. I just see them in my eyes, and then I can understand more and more and follow them. This the progress. I think this is the progress from just learning from books to the real practice.
You have been doing a yearly fundraising event for a school in Nepal, which was also funded by Thrangu Rinpoche. So this year's fundraising event is an art exhibition, which is going to take place at Hong Kong City Hall. How did that start?
From the year 2015 was the earthquake in Nepal. So by that time, my teacher, Thrangu Rinpoche, which also from the Thrangu Monastery, he's in Hong Kong and he's going back to Nepal, brought some the necessary relief goods to go back to Nepal to offer to Thrangu Rinpoche, his family and the lay people. And by that time, one of my Dharma friends, Venus, her guru is also in Nepal, and he wants to see his guru. But Thrangu Rinpoche suggests that if she go by her own self, that's not very suggested. So because of that, I go with her and be the assistants to take the relief goods as much as we can. And when I was there, I see the cracked houses and the people there is losing their families, and also they just sit open area with their wounded, and they have this environment is give me a very quick impression, and that where I really know what is suffering is losing all the assets, losing the family members, and just sit in the open areas and just waiting for help. And this, so after I come back to Hong Kong, this deeply sorrows for the Nepal people just embraced deeply in my innermost heart. So I keep asking myself what I can do to help. So I found a solution. I found a solution that I know that Thrangu Rinpoche has built the Asamdi School 30 years ago. So I just write a simple proposal and got the blessings from my guru, Shree Rinpoche, who is one of the Thrangu Monastery, son of the Thrangu Monastery Rinpoche, and also asked the guidance of Khenpo Dawa and his permission, and do the first charity event for raising funds for the Asamdi School in 2016, and then we do it yearly. Hoped to just bring some help, because I think education for the Humanian children, because when they were in the Humanian mountains, they just do the farmings, and for the whole life they have no chance to studies, and because of the good heart of kindness of Thrangu Rinpoche, he set up the schools and bring down from the Himalayan mountains to the Kathmandu, to the schools, and offer them education, accommodation, medical, everything, and supports them to grow up. And I think this is the fundamentals to change the life of the poor people, for the, say, sort of underprivileged people.
Shree Mangal Dvip School for Himalayan children in Kathmandu, known as the Asamdi School, provides free education, housing, and full care for children from the most vulnerable and remote Himalayan mountain villages of northern Nepal. Under the guidance of founder Thrangu Rinpoche, the mission of the school is to preserve the culture, language, and Buddhist way of life of the Himalayas, and to give Himalayan children the tools to build a better future for themselves, so that they can in turn help their own people when they grow up. The first monk to graduate from Asamdi School was Choje Lama Wangchuk. Since 2018, he has been in charge of all the Thrangu monasteries, Dharma institutes, schools around the world, as well as a clinic.
The Shree Mangal Dvip School was founded by the very venerable Khenpo Dawa in 1987. And the main reason why the school was founded was because when Rinpoche was going for pilgrimage in Nepal and in India, and most of the pilgrimage site, wherever he went, he could see so many students who were not going to school. And Rinpoche asked them why they are not going to school, even though most of the villages, they did have a school, but there were not many teachers in the school back then. So the level of education was not so good. And most of the parents, they just wanted their kids to be at home and not sent to school. And then since Rinpoche is like highly respected, highly regarded, so and since Rinpoche has been to so many different countries, even in 1970s, 80s, so he was able to like build a school in 1987. And the main purpose was to give like modern education or secular education. And obviously not everybody wants to be a monk or a nun. And there are so many like poor kids from all these different places who need to have education. And even if they are living here in Nepal, or even if they are going abroad, all of them had to have some education for their betterment. And also, we already had the monastery, but as Rinpoche traveled to so many countries, he understood the importance of secular and modern education. And he also wanted the monks, because back then we didn't have nunnery, we only had the monastery for the monks. So he also wanted the monks to have some modern education, so not only like religious education. And because of that, the school was established in 1987. And right from the beginning, we had like lay people, like lay boys, lay girls, and monks going to the same school, receiving the same education. And that might be like one of the first school where monks were also joining in like secular class. And since then till now, I think maybe we have like more than 300 or 400 graduates till now. And I'm only talking about high school, because in the beginning, we are not allowed to have high school. So we have to only have till grade 5, and then slowly till grade 6, 7, 8. And then only in 98, I think we started to have grade 10. And from 98 till now, I think maybe around 400 or more students who have completed grade 10. And at the present, we have like around little more than 500 students, I guess, in the school. And from these 500, we have like little more than 400 like lay people. I think maybe around 400 plus. So from them, I think it is like maybe like 55 to 45 ratio. So we have like little more girls, like maybe 55%, and then 45% are like boys from this little more than 400 students. And then we also have monks and nuns in the school. So the monks, we have like around 40 monks, and the nuns, we have like around 30 nuns at the school who are receiving education. And the main reason that we have more monks is because in the monastery, we have more monks in the monastery. So the more monks are going to school. And we only have like around 200 plus nuns in total in our monastery, but we have like almost 500 monks in total in our monastery. So there are more monks going to the school instead of nuns.
We all have stereotypes about feminine qualities. And how do you see feminine qualities in your career and also in your spiritual practice?
For me, both the feminine and the masculine qualities are of same importance in my workplace and in my spiritual journey, because the feminine qualities, the compassion and also the wisdom and the patience is very important when we interact with the people in the workplace. Because when we're doing anything, we have the interactions with men and women, and sometimes they will more masculine, and then I will be more feminine, and so all the work will be more smooth. And especially when I'm doing the charity UN, so as a women, I will use my feminine quality to ask the parents and other pupils to help the kids. So I think this is very important for the workplace and spiritual practice. And well, the other way is the masculine quality. Then is of equal importance, because when in the workplace, sometimes we encounter some troubles, and arguments. But I use the Buddhism way of thinking, so I will just use my masculine quality to face the obstacles and speak strictly, directly to for the situation. Not because I want to argue with the person, but I just want to be help the project and all the things go in the right way, in a wisdom way. So for me, both qualities is important. It depends on the situations, but for the spiritual practice, I think the feminine qualities is of most important, because we need to be calm. We need to be looking into ourselves and to find out the problems of ourselves. And these are all the qualities of the feminine way of thinking. So this is the way that can improve ourselves, and then after improving, and then we can share with others. So the feminine qualities for me is very important.
In your journey, you received support from both men and women. You mentioned a former colleague who advised you to take refuge in the Three Jewels to become a real Buddhist. You also mentioned David Ma, a volunteer at Karmapa 900 event, who inspired you to find your connection with Vajrayana practice. So in your view, how man and woman can make progress together?
Man and woman, for me, I just interpret as the feminine qualities and the masculine qualities. We have the qualities of women, feminine qualities, and we also have the masculine qualities in ourselves. So how can women and men progress together? And I think we can see each other. We can see each other as oneself. So when the man is more feminine in the qualities, and then maybe we can be more masculine to make it in a balanced way. So I think on the other hand, when the women is very feminine, and when they encounter some problems in their workplace or in their Dharma practice, then we can use the masculine qualities, the barriers, the cut through the obstacles that in the daily life workplace or in the practice.
So it's a much dynamic process. It's not, we should not be fixed by, oh, I'm a woman, so this is the thing I should do, and you're a man, and I expect you to be very masculine all the time.
Yes, that's exactly.
I became a monk at a very young age, and I was not able to travel like until I was like maybe 20 something. So before that, I was only here in Nepal. And then, like maybe you already know, so we have like 100 million recitation puja of money, Om Mani Padme Hum, and we do it in our school, Asamdi. And when I was like 12, I became a monk, so I could see the Mani Puja. And back then, I was small, and it was not only monks and nuns, lay people could also join the puja. And every year, I could only see like so many women joining in the puja. So it is like almost 80% or maybe more than 80% are women. And then maybe 20% or maybe less than 20% are men. And back then, what I used to think, and it was my misunderstanding that, oh, the men, they have to work. And the women, they don't have work. So maybe they are more free and they are able to join the puja. So that was what I thought. And then when I started traveling as Rinpoche's attendant, and I came to Hong Kong, Taiwan, Malaysia, US, Canada, and everywhere I go, I see more women than men. So I think you can also see that in most of the centers in Hong Kong. And then I started to realize, oh, it's not because of. Later, what I got to realize was, oh, the females, they have more compassion and devotion. It comes naturally, I think. And for the males, I think it's little difficult to have compassion so easily. Even if we see like a small animals being hurt in the middle of the road, we can easily know that when a female sees that and when a male sees that, there's a big contrast between the expression or feeling and everything. I think that is because naturally women has more compassion and devotion. And because of that, when they join any retreat or any teaching or any puja, they have more, because of the compassion, they have more faith and devotion. And when you have more compassion and when you have more faith and devotion, and obviously you are going to reap more benefit. So I think it's much better for us to accept and know that, or most of the time, the females have much more compassion. And I think when they practice, it's much easier for them instead for us. So when you see so many female in a center or in a monastery or in a temple, people should not be judging like, oh, maybe they are not working or maybe they are free. Or we have to accept and realize that, oh, it is because of their compassion, it is because of their devotion. Even if they have to work, even if they have to work as much as the male counterpart, but still they are able to give so much time to Dharma, join the puja, and not even in the center also, we can see them not only joining the puja, and even before the puja, after the puja, we can see so many women like helping, like arranging and maybe cleaning and everything. We see that and we have to be inspired actually and not criticize. So that is what I think.